Welcome back. Huge day today. A lot of potential, of course. Rodriguez missed a feed yesterday and wilted, he admitted. Well, he's decided that he's not going to make the same mistake again today, and he's gone up the road. Plenty are being tempted to follow on. Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne, La Toussuire, is where we started today, and Saint-Jean, our start, the finish very close by as well. So Rodriguez is up the road. Let's just have a quick look at how he peeled off a few moments ago. And here he is, just deciding he didn't want to waste any time at all. Tekla Hamanot, incidentally, who, of course, wore the King of the Mountains jersey with such aplomb early on. Fancy the breakaway today. Tekla Hamanot, 33rd in that competition. Not assembling too many more points since he wore the jersey, 7 in fact, as opposed to Rodriguez and Bardet's 68. Well, at the moment, this is a bit like policing the break, and indeed keeping an eye on those who are around you as far as the GC is concerned. And Peter Sagan is doing his little bit today. We're just having a look at the profile of the Col de Chaussy, which is what we're taking on almost immediately. A few more just rolling off the nose, as you can see, and it seems that a breakaway may well at least have an early chance. This is what we are taking on right now. It's 15.4 kilometres actually in length, 6.3 is the average. Some nasty little bits, usually on the hairpins, as you can see. It's a climb just over 15.5 kilometres, and then a long descent of 14.5. So a breakaway's got a chance at least of establishing itself. However, we then roll into an intermediate sprint, which is why Peter Sagan is quite lively up towards the fore. There's a 14.5 kilometre descent and then 28.5 kilometres of relative flat before we take on the big climb of the day. Very much looking forward to it. Back up the Glandon, the way we came down, and the Croix de Fer. We finish on the Toussuire later on today, but the big test at the middle of the day is the Glandon and that Croix de Fer. So 134.4 kilometres, Sean. It's perhaps a little bit more animated than many had thought, just for the time being.
No, I don't think we're expecting for a moment that it wouldn't be animated at all today. I think with the short stage, also the way the stages have been going, the breakaway went early yesterday. The breakaway have been out the last number of days, have succeeded, and there's a lot of teams and a lot of riders want to get something out of the stage, and today is a one where, you know, get out in the breakaway in the earlier part on this first climb of the day, which is, you know, a serious 115.4k, and if you get the right one where you haven't anybody dangerous to general classification, it will settle down back in peloton once again, and you have this long bit in the valley. You know, you have 20 k's, and if you can get a good advantage on this climb, well, then you could go a long ways into the stage. And of course, the mountain classification, we can see Rodriguez was very active there at the start. He's going to be, you know, trying that again today to get some points, and we can see here there's, you know, a group forming already out front. Will he be the good one? That is the question.
It is a big question. We've had some very big groups over the last couple of days, sort of 28, 29 riders involved. They're coming up to that gorgeous Mont Vernier and the Lacette that you're, the Lacet, or Lacette, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Yes, those beautiful curves in the road, and as you can see, Cannondale, Garmin also very busy. IAM were busy yesterday, likewise Trek Factory Racing, and they want a piece of today. We saw Talansky doing a great job, in fact, finishing up behind Geske up to Praloop, and in fact also involved in the top 10 yesterday, just late on, a late push with him and Barguil from Team Giant Alpecin. I must admit, I thought I'd see Barguil getting busy at the top of the day. It's the usual suspects, and in fact right now it's as you were, Sean, with Team Sky here just holding on to the front, just making sure that the pace and the safety element are all intact.
Well, of course, Sky have got to be on the front at this point, and just be careful who's getting into the break, control it a bit, and they're going to do that for quite a while, and just see, you know, who's up there in the break, and then they can maybe ride at a faster pace or just, you know, slow things down gradually, and you have to try and calm things at the start. As we can see here, it's still very nervous. Gauthier with Pierre Rolland once again from Europcar going in the attack, and you know, we've seen it all before. We see it yesterday where Europcar were very much represented up in the breakaway with 3 riders up there, and this is going to, you know, start stirring up here. And the top 10 in general classification we've seen the last 2 days are starting to defend there, so you know, there's teams chasing each other, and Sky worked it well yesterday. We see that it was Giant Albacin who did a lot of the chasing to close down the breakaway, so we will see something the same today as we, you know, see the riders out in front here. And all depends, if Rolland gets across, well, then it becomes a little bit more of a difficult one, because then the French teams, the other riders, will start, you know, chasing that. The race is definitely on for first Frenchman.
Certainly is. Rolland's 13th overall, 16 minutes and 2 seconds down. The big battle is between Barguil and Bardet, incidentally. That's for a top 10 place. Bardet is on 12 minutes and 52. And Talansky just stretches his legs after almost asking permission, it seems, from Team Sky. Bardet in 10th place on 12 minutes and 52, and only 16 seconds behind him in 11th is Warren Barguil of Giant Alpecin. So the French youngsters, I imagine, will start attacking each other today, just for that privileged position of being best placed Frenchman, as Sean was saying. 25 seconds is the gap so far. We've got Wester from Astana. We have Perrault as well from AG2 A La Mondiale. Tekla Hamanot fancies it again, as you can see. Herrada Lopez from Movistar. We have Rodriguez as well from Katusha with his teammate Losada. Zikar from Europcar. Kruiswijk from Team Lotto Jumbo. Lampreys Plaza Molina is up there yet again, with Van Baal also involved, and Nico Ede from Cofidis. So, yeah, a few definitely enjoying the fun. I'm just wondering whether it's going to be sprinters actually that may well decide that they're going to stretch their legs very early in order for that intermediate sprint. It comes with 96 kilometres to go, so it's still quite some racing to be had. Talansky looks he's been very feisty during this Tour de France, and he's desperate for that stage victory. He's come extremely close, second up to Praloup, as we said, and yesterday finished 9th, just in front of Barguil, who was on a charge. And as we come to these Lasset, just going to find out from Juan Antonio who are his Juans to watch.
Hello, good morning from Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne. Start of decisive stage in Tour de France. Today, the riders going to have to do the exactly same finals as we did back in 2006. And Team Movistar, by that time with another sponsor, they built Oscar Pereira victory exactly on the same course. They went up to Croix de Fer and finished in La Toussaint. That's why the ones to watch today are Movistar team, and especially Nairo Quintana, his team leader. If he really wants to make big gaps, it has to be today. He can't wait for tomorrow. La Toussaint is a very long climb. That's why we really expect his show, Nairo Quintana, going on the attack today. That's the only chance, probably the last one today.
There we are. Last attack chances will, of course, be Alpe d'Huez, but before we head to the Champs-Élysées. But Sean, no doubt about the importance and gravity of today as far as the challenges anyone to Chris Froome.
Well, I think there's definitely going to be some attacks today. We've seen, you know, yesterday they did put in some attacks, but again, I don't think the terrain was the real opportunity route yesterday. Today, it's certainly, you know, the difficulty of this stage, the short stage, and the mountaintop finish. It's all going to be the final 80 kilometres. We have 3 major climbs. Yeah, we have that O category, and let's not forget we're climbing up to Croix de Fer, but that is the Glandon. So we climb up the Glandon, and then you go down a little bit, and then you go on to the Croix de Fer. There's a difference of 3 kilometres there, but it's a serious one. And when we get to that point, we have 83 kilometres done at the Croix de Fer. Then with that long descent, and then the Col de Mollard, which is another difficult one of 5.7, and of course La Toussaint, which is a very, very difficult climb. It's 18 kilometres. It's a long one. When you race, very, very fast all day on a short stage, that's where it can be difficult. And we can see here, at the front of the bunch, a breakaway, but the bunches that are just like a bomb dropped. It's exploded everywhere.
Certainly has, as a lot already been found out so early in the day. Nasty inclines here, Sean, but again, you can't really settle into the rhythm of climbing the Lasette. We're at Mont Vernier, which is the foot of our climb up to the Col de Chaussy. It's a nasty thing to take on right at the top of the day. It's a nasty thing to take on at any point within a stage.
Well, certainly at the top of the day, when you go full on out at the start, kilometre zero, just, they start attacking. That is very difficult after a very difficult days already in the Alps, and we're into the end of our third week of racing, and that's where it really is a killer. And we've seen the riders now at the start; they're all on the turbo trainers getting ready, and you guarantee this morning 80% of the riders were doing that, and just making sure that you're warm for the start, because if you're not warmed up at the start, well, then you're going to get the big legs, as they say, and if you get that, well, you're going to really be in difficulty. So everybody ready just to go out of the blocks full on today.
Nice to see that Europcar have really taken to the attacking very early on. Pierre Rolland, though, being dragged into proceedings might not bode too well. We'll see some other teams chasing on. It might be the killer for the breakaway, but it's up to 25 riders now, Sean, with just finally, it seems, assembling itself.
Yes, well, 25 seconds at the moment, or 38 seconds is it grown out to now, but a lot of riders up there, and that is the problem. When you get a lot of riders out there, you get a lot of ones sitting on the rear, want to get carried along. We've seen it already, and that can be a difficult one. But depending on who's up there, who want to ride. And yesterday was the situation. AG Tuola Mondial, they had 3 riders up there, so they were really interested in riding on, and a number of other teams as well. And if that is the case today, well, this breakaway, very big one once again, could pull out a big advantage. And if they get to the top of the line with a minute and a half and can do the descent, then in the valley of that 20 kilometres, they can work well, and they could go on to the attack the Glandon Croix de Fer, which have quite a big advantage.
So it's quite a powerhouse that's been assembled up towards the front, and if you want to be part of it, you're going to have to do some work. There's not much room to hide, to be honest, but Europcar with 3 members of this breakaway right now. Liu Vestre and Michele Scarponi both up there for Astana. A lot of people saying that this is Nibali's chance to sort of at least show what he's got, and I guess when you've got a couple of your engine room up there and ready to do some duties for you later on, then that helps. Katusha, in fact, assembling a good fighting force for Joaquim Rodriguez, who's in the polka dot jersey. He's also up here, by the way, along with Tekla Hamanot, who's made it back onto the break after being in the first initial push with 130 kilometres to go. So still with quite some climbing to be done. In fact, now that we've done Mont Vernier, we've still got to, still dealing with that, and up to Chaussy. And in fact, it peaks at 122.5 to go. So do your maths. And just looking at Rigoberto Urán, also looking at some spots of rain upon the camera. And today, if rain does become a factor, then the descents, of which we have plenty today, are also going to have a big impact. In fact, just working out, it's about 45 kilometres of the day's 138 will be very rapid descending.
I'm feeling okay. Of course, I was disappointed yesterday and angry, and maybe not completely over it yet, but I will try to use the anger and try to concentrate my energy on getting in the breakaway today.
Yeah, because you're still in that fight, for the mountain jersey, and today is a very important day for that. How do you think it's going to be?
Well, it's going to be a big fight still. Of course, it's going to be difficult. Also with many points in the final, in the finish line. So it's going to be difficult, but I will try.
The Col de la Croix, you have a lot of points there, and it's more or less in the middle of the stage. How is it? Have you talked about, I imagine, in the meeting?
I will try to see if I can catch the breakaway already in the beginning, and then we see how it goes.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Just assembling the breakaway at the moment. It is 25 riders. It's quite busy. Scarponi and Vestre both up there for Astana, working on behalf of Vincenzo Nibali. Just looking at those who are already struggling today, and Jeffrey Soupé, one of the sprinters, main lead-out man for Nasser Bouhanni, who left this race very early on. Mystery circumstances about that as well, because he appeared not to be injured, just frankly fed up. Geniez from Francis Deschutes is here. Mick Rogers from Tinkoff Saxo looks like he's been sent up the road as well. We'll get confirmation on these numbers once Radio Tour have fully established them. Harada and Mallory both up there for Movistar. Galopin for Lotto Soudal. We have Rodriguez, Caruso and Lozada for Team Katusha. As far as I can see, Orica Green Edge have missed the break, so have Essex Quickstep. Europe Car have got Pierre Roland, Cyril Gauthier and Roman Zikar. Stephen Kruijswijk is there for Lotto Jumbo in their familiar yellow and black. And Peter Sagan just wants to get this pesky climb out of the way so he can do his stuff at the sprint. But unfortunately for him, there's just too many riders up front who are going to hoover up all of the points. 25 of them, in fact. Cannondale Garmin with a very well-assembled platoon. Andrew Talansky and Dan Martin are there. Dylan Van Baal likewise. Nico Ede and Danny Navarro. As we mentioned, Tekla Hamanot is up there as well, along with Huzarski from Bora and Buchmann. They are both up there as well as Ede, the aforementioned. So, pretty handy group, Sean.
Yes, well, a serious number of riders up there, and that is always the problem, because when you have a big number, if they work well together at all, well then it's difficult to manage. A small group of 6 or 8 riders is so much easier. And of course we see up there in the front there's riders with, you know, a lot of interests, and it's Katusha who are pushing on. Of course, you know, they are for Joaquim Rodriguez. They've got you know, a number of riders wanting to, you know, pull this break along, because they will get maximum points at the top of this one, and that's what Rodriguez is setting out for again, as yesterday, right from the start, going and just getting into the breakaway and picking up the points as quick as possible. As we can see the race here, going through a big downpour, breakaway out in front we can see, and also for the peloton, because, you know, they're very close, only 30 seconds of difference, so they're all in that big shower at the moment.
Lots of showers today, chance of lightning as well, so let's just hope that that strikes away from everybody, doesn't call. I'm thinking about the electronics. Chances of the riders being hit very slim, thankfully. But yeah, I'm just worrying about our electrics on a day such as this. Mountain relay not good, and it's hail in places, and that makes for a very skittery surface. They're raining on their parade, Sean. It's going to be a big factor when we come to the descent. 14.5 kilometres of it is coming up. We'll be getting there in about 6k's time, so I guess we'll take a commercial break in a few moments' time. But it's going to be crucial, isn't it, Sean?
Well, it's going to make it dangerous if somebody want to push on. It's a very technical descent. It's a narrow one, so it's going to be a danger one if they try and go down it at a fast rate.
Sorry about that.
The future belongs to the